Hello, children. So nice to have a family-friendly video for Christmas time, isn't it? Although it probably isn't Christmas or the Christmas holidays by the time I'll have this video up, because my computer is playing up at the moment. However, I am still able to record in advance, so given the topic of this particular video, you may want to wait another year before watching. Or if you're not particularly fussed, you may want to watch it now. Immaterial to me, really. Now, you'll have to excuse me because I have to have reading matter in front of me. I'm scripting rather rarely. Now, today's little video is going to be about St. Nicholas Myra. And if any of you don't know who that is, then you are serious thickos, or you just didn't have the privilege of being lied to as a child. If I just said that it was St. Nicholas, would that help you a little? Frankly, I think that the poor little fellow would spin round several times in his grave if he could see the monstrosity that he has turned into. Although what he'd think if all the gruesome details of his life story were to be revealed is something else. Oh, hello. Yeah, you stay down there. This here is a Christmas present for somebody else that I'm minding. Yeah, I'll need to wrap him up at some other point. Yeah, stay down, stay away from the stairs, or stay away from here, or I'll put you in the microwave again. Yeah, the most outrageous things I've had to do. I've not been able to hang tinsel, you know, as low down as I used to, or hang beads and baubles on the Christmas tree. I had to put the Christmas tree on the coffee table. Had to think cat, basically. I've not kept an animal apart from goldfish in the place. I had a rabbit when I was 3, but, you know, when do rabbits ever wreck your house? Unless they eat everything, of course. Yeah, I've had to think animal, basically, this year. Is a treasure, but it's, like I said, it's somebody's present, and we're trying to keep it secret. Where were we? Oh yeah, Santa Claus. Well, like I said, I think that if he were to know that the gruesome details of his life would be revealed, I think he'd be appalled. Could you be spared the gruesome details of Santa Claus's life, I hear you ask? Think again. You're dealing with the wrong YouTuber. I have had to study Sigmund Freud quite significantly when I was younger, and modern Freudian writers, and indeed those who are parodying such people, like to see something strangely sinister about a scarlet-clad man who flies through the air at night in search of sleepers and in defiance of all the alarms or CCTV cameras that you might have, enters into your house without detection via the chimney, and is still able to get in using strange powers, even if you don't have a chimney, after which he doles out gifts to the children he most likes the sound of. Well, when put like that, it's not hardly surprising that they get so disgusted about it, but we're wandering off track here. Nevertheless, apart from the beard and white-lined red being his style in choice of clothing, the one thing that has stayed with St. Nicholas throughout time is his being seen as a somewhat benevolent character, and this much seems to be indisputable. You all know his story to the extent that you know he was a bishop who lived a long time ago who gave presents to good people. According to legend, it was an orange or a bag of gold for good children, and a birch cane for the bad, the latter possibly being the origin of the festive candy cane that's hung on Christmas trees, you know. And you also know separately from what you were told by your loving parents that he sleeps through most of the year. Sorry, watching for the four-legged present there. From what you were told from your loving parents that he sleeps for most of the year after being exhausted from travelling all over the world in one night. Who wouldn't be? After that, with only just enough time to consume the milk and mince pie that you leave out for him with the inevitable carrot left for Rudolph. Which is why, for the remaining 364 days, he leaves the work of creating the toys that you weren't supposed to see your parents buying for you from the toy shop the day before, to the manual skills of his race of pygmy slaves, or the white-skinned, pointy-eared equivalent. Political correctness is a wonderful thing, isn't it? But have you any idea how busy he is now as a saint, and if you have, any idea why? Oh, firstly, one of the gifts he gave was not a shiny sixpence or an orange. Ever seen the first episode of Blackadder the Second? You see, when I wrote that down, the stupid computer hadn't even heard of Blackadder. How humourless is that? Nor could it spell, actually. It couldn't spell the word humour. Well, UK spelling, I suppose. American computer. Anyway, Blackadder, I believe it's the second, the Elizabethan episode. First episode. And the peasant says the immortal lines to his daughter Kate, short for Bob. Yes, Kate, I want you to become a prostitute. Well, it's nice to think that this was purely for comedy's sake, but the reality is much darker, or at least it was 1,300 years prior to when Blackadder was set, because St. Nicholas lived in 4th century Turkey. And for the most noted of the lovely men St. Nicholas helped out of a sticky situation was attempting to pimp 2 of his own daughters off to improve his penniless lifestyle. Well, St. Nicholas didn't like the sound of that, as you might expect, so he threw the man 3 bags of gold through the window, and to this day, because this was money kindly offered to help someone have trouble, what a serpent on a sword is to a doctor, and a red and white striped pole is to a barber, and I can, in a separate video, tell you what those both signify, if you like, as well. 3 golden balls, which are really coins, is the sign of a pawnbroker's shop to this day. Pawnbroker, pawn shop, not pornography. You know, I know this is prostitution, but the pawnbrokers, you know. Valuable object, get for money, you know. They hang a sign with 3 golden balls on it, and that's why, because St. Nicholas put them there. And consequently, this whole incident gave St. Nicholas patronage to pawnbrokers, paupers, poor people, girls, prostitutes and their reformation, unmarried girls and elderly spinsters, and paradoxically also brides and the newlywed. Pity that the story of 3 bags of gold was degenerated into a gift of 1 sixpence over the ages, though.